Jonah simply was the most dangerous rugby player, I think, that's played the game.
When you've got 120 kgs and you're 6'5", you're going to do some damage.
Jonah Lomu is the only global superstar we'll ever have in rugby.
Lomu's superstar status in rugby is undeniable. He was a global icon, from being offered an NFL contract to having a McDonald's burger named after him. This is the incredible career of Jonah Lomu. Join us as we explore just how good Jonah Lomu really was.
Kelleher's read it, Lomu has it. Lomu all by himself, no one's going to stop him. Just opens the stride and away he goes.
Born in Auckland in 1975, Jonah Lomu burst onto the international rugby scene like a force of nature. At just 19 years old, he became the youngest All Black ever. But it wasn't his age that caught everyone's attention. It was his size, speed, and raw power. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches and weighing 120 kilograms, Lomu was a genetic freak. He ran the 100 metres in 10.8 seconds, only a tenth of a second slower than current Springbok winger Cheslin Kolbe. Despite his limited experience, Lomu's potential was undeniable. By the time the 1995 Rugby World Cup came around, he had only 2 caps for the All Blacks, but he was poised to make a name for himself. Lomu scored 7 tries in 5 matches, including 4 against England in the semi-final, a performance still regarded as one of the greatest in World Cup history. In one iconic moment, Lomu charged down the wing, bulldozing through England's defence and trampling over fullback Mike Catt to score. It was the kind of try that made defenders look like children, helpless against his sheer power. The world had never seen anything like it. And in that moment, Jonah Lomu became rugby's first global superstar. Even England captain Will Carling, after being on the receiving end of Lomu's unstoppable play, famously said, "He is a freak, and the sooner he goes away, the better."
Hands off Tony Underwood. Lomu heading for 4. That's the most brilliant quartet of tries you'd ever wish to see.
However, Lomu's heroics weren't enough to win the 1995 World Cup, as South Africa came out victorious in a 15-12 nail-biter. After the 1995 Rugby World Cup, Jonah Lomu was no longer just a promising young player. He was a global phenomenon. His performances on the field had captivated the world, and overnight, Lomu became rugby's first true international star. His international career continued as he earned 63 caps for the All Blacks between 1994 and 2002. Unfortunately, he never won the Rugby World Cup, falling short again in 1999 when New Zealand lost to hosts France in the semi-final, despite Lomu scoring 2 tries. He finished with a record of 15 tries in just 11 Rugby World Cup matches. Lomu's career was cut short in 2002 due to nephrotic syndrome, a serious kidney disorder. Diagnosed in 1995, Lomu battled immense physical pain throughout his career. His kidney function had dropped to just 15%, but somehow he continued to dominate on the field. Eventually, the pain became too much, and Lomu was forced to retire and undergo a kidney transplant. He briefly returned to rugby in 2005, playing for the Cardiff Blues and North Harbour before officially retiring in 2007. He ended his career with 37 tries in 63 international games, making him the 8th highest try scorer for New Zealand. Jonah Lomu didn't just dominate on the field, he changed the way rugby was played. After 1995, teams began to rethink their defensive strategies. Wingers got bigger, stronger, and more powerful in an attempt to replicate Lomu's game-changing impact. He redefined what was possible in the sport, paving the way for the modern power winger. Players like Julian Savea, Nemani Nadolo, and Caleb Clark followed in Lomu's footsteps, big fast wingers who terrorized defenses. But as great as they are, none have reached the mythical status Lomu achieved. Lomu's impact extended far beyond rugby, making him a global sports icon. His unmatched combination of size, speed, and athleticism attracted attention from outside the rugby world, including an offer to join the NFL, reportedly turning down a $10 million contract from the Denver Broncos. In 1995, he became the first rugby player ever featured in Time magazine, solidifying his status as an international superstar. His appeal wasn't limited to sports fans. He became a cultural figure, with McDonald's even naming a burger after him in New Zealand, the Jonah Lomu burger. Lomu's fame transcended rugby, making him one of the few rugby players to achieve true global recognition and helping to elevate the sport's profile worldwide.
Jonah is the game. Everyone recognises that black 11 jersey. The minute you see it, it's iconic. And there's very few things in our game that are iconic. Anyone who doesn't like rugby, like who loves football or cricket or tennis, knows who Jonah is. What he did still has a massive impact. So for me, he is the biggest legend ever in the game.
Jonah Lomu's career was nothing short of spectacular, but the question remains, was he the greatest rugby player of all time? There's no doubt he had a level of dominance few athletes ever achieve. But Lomu's journey was far from easy, and it's important to remember what he was up against. Despite battling illness throughout his career, Lomu continued to amaze fans and terrify opponents. His ability to perform at such an elite level, even while dealing with a condition that would have sidelined most athletes, makes his achievements even more remarkable. But the illness took its toll. By 2003, at just 28 years old, Jonah Lomu's international rugby career was over, leaving the world wondering just how much more he could have achieved. He was certainly a global icon with the talent to back it up. He had the potential to become the Michael Jordan of rugby, and there's no doubt he had the ability to become the sport's greatest player ever.
Basham. Kicked away to Lomu.
Well, what can you say really with the ball in hand? He's just unstoppable, isn't he?
He is unstoppable. The first time he made the try, we thought for little. The second time he scored the try.
So, was Lomu the greatest? His career might not have the longevity of legends like Richie McCaw or Dan Carter, but greatness isn't always about numbers or years on the field. It's about impact. And when it comes to impact, few can rival Jonah Lomu. He redefined what was possible in rugby and became the sport's first true global superstar. Even though his time at the top was brief, his influence on the game is undeniable. Inspiring a generation of players, revolutionizing the role of the winger, and leaving a legacy that will last forever. Jonah Lomu didn't just play the game, he changed it. For that reason alone, he is undoubtedly one of the greatest to ever play the game. On November 18th, 2015, the world lost a true rugby legend when Jonah Lomu passed away unexpectedly at the age of 40 due to complications related to his long battle with nephrotic syndrome. Despite undergoing a kidney transplant, Lomu's health continued to decline in the years that followed. His death sent shockwaves through the rugby community and beyond, with tributes pouring in from all over the world. Former teammates, opponents, and fans alike mourned the loss of a man who had not only revolutionized rugby, but also inspired millions with his humility, perseverance, and strength in the face of adversity. Lomu's passing was a stark reminder of the fragility of life, and his legacy endures as one of rugby's brightest stars, both on and off the field.